everybody, morning, welcome to Britain's brightest, best radio show. It is the 23rd of January, and it is of course Saturday, which means it's Luke Howard Live. It's Luke Howard Live at lunchtime, Monday to Friday, 12:30 to 1:15, and then Luke Howard Live on Saturday between the time of 10 until 10:45. I keep you company at that time every Saturday to kickstart your weekend. Well, it's great to have you company today, and if you'd like to get in touch, with Britain's Best Radio Show, then do go ahead. The email is garyjhoward68@hotmail.com, or the other email is 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also find the show on Instagram as well, as I say every single day. It's the Luke Howard fan page. And you could also use other hashtags, which is Luke Howard Live, which is hashtag Luke Howard Live, hashtag listen to Luke Howard Live, and hashtag Luke Howard, or hashtag one and only as well. So there's lots of great hashtags to get in touch with Britain's brightest, best radio show there. Okay, coming up on the show today, news that we're going to be talking about on the show is we're talking about hotel quarantining on the show today for people who are arriving. It's going to be discussed sometime today, so we're going to talk about that in a while on the show, and we're also going to be talking about sea shanties as well. Can virtual success make a music career? And I never actually knew about that, so I learn something new every single day on this show, so we will talk a little bit about that in a moment. We've got national days now, and today it's a very special day for if you like handwriting, because it is handwriting day. And if you like pies, it's also pie day today. So I don't know what I've got for dinner tonight. I definitely haven't got a pie. But but it is pie day today. And it's also, no, that's tomorrow. But those are the national days today. It's handwriting day and pie day today. So if you're celebrating any of those days today, enjoy. Okay, so let's talk about what is in the news today. Now, actually, we like to be COVID-free on this show, you see, and everyone knows that I am very COVID-free. Hands up, because I am. So, and we are going to try and be COVID-free, but I actually want to talk about hotel quarantining on the show. So I know that's got some stuff to do with it, but I think we should talk about that. I think that's a very good idea. So, should we talk about that? Yeah, I can hear them in my earpiece now. You sure? Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so I know a lot about this anyway, but they're going to be discussing on a meeting next week. When's the meeting? Monday, apparently, and it's going to be tightening restrictions on UK borders, and it's going to be including the possibility of hotel quarantines for travellers. And a Downing Street news conference, which was, I believe, yesterday, because I did actually see that yesterday afternoon. Boris Johnson he did not rule out taking further actions, and it also came amid increased concerns over the spread of new COVID variants. And under current travel curbs, it almost meant that all people arriving in the UK, I think, from Monday next week, have all got to have a test, and if they test, for COVID, and they can't, and if they're tested negative, they can come in. If they're tested positive, they can't come into the UK. So that's something new that I've only just learnt now. But it's going to be taking 72 hours before travelling, and anyone arriving without one face could fine up to £500. And all passengers, they're going to be required to quarantine for up to 10 days. And I only just found this out this morning, actually, when I looked this up. The isolation period can also be cut short with, I think it's a second negative test for after 5 days in this very country. But only people who are not subject to the conditions are children under 11. Now, Halia's Air International Rail and Maritime crew and passengers from the Common Travel Area, they're all being comprised of the Republic of Ireland and the Channel Islands, or even the Isle of Man as well. But Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland have all had their own quarantine rules. They've all been completely different, and we all know that anyway. But as of from Monday next week, travel corridors which exempted passengers arriving from some countries from quarantine have all been suspended throughout the UK. But they all asked whether the government would bring in the further measures at the UK borders. Boris Johnson said he really didn't rule it out, because of course he didn't want to rule it out at all. And he said we also may need to take further measures still. And they all may need to go further to protect the borders, of course. That is what Boris said. He wants to go further to protect every single border in this very UK, which is what we all know about anyway. But he said we all don't want to put that effort to control COVID at risk by having a new variant, which is going to also be coming back in place this very week. But one more infectious variant, which was first identified down in Kent, funny enough. I would have actually thought it would have been up north, but it wasn't. It was actually down in Kent. I never actually knew that. Well, obviously it would be down in Kent, actually, because if you think about it, France isn't very far from Kent. So France is basically right next door. So obviously Europe's all there. So maybe it might come from Europe to Kent. We just don't know. We just don't know. But there's been lots of variants cause of concern, not just in Kent, but there's also been some in South Africa and Brazil. Of course, my great aunt, she lives down near Brazil. She lives on the borders of Peru, Brazil and Colombia, all put together. So she lives in the Colombian rainforest, so I know where Brazil is very well. But those discoveries led, I don't know, 83-year-old woman, absolutely amazing, my great aunt, she's amazing. But the countries and several of Southern African countries are also being suspended as well. But scientists, they're going to be fearing these variants discovered in other countries, which is going to interfere with the effectiveness of vaccines and evade parts of the immune system as well, which is what I never actually knew. But while those are travelling into the UK, they're actually going to be asked to adhibe by the 10-day isolation and told that they can be subject to checks checks. And London Mayor Sadiq Khan, he's going to be among those who have called for the UK to adopt use of enforced quarantine in hotel rooms. The policy is among the measures in Australia that has limited the country to just 28,750 positive cases. That's not a lot, really, to be honest with you. Is it really a lot? Well, it sounds quite a lot to me, really, but do you think it's really a lot? I think it is quite a lot, really. But during the entire pandemic, and fewer than the UK currently has every single day of the year. But travellers who do choose to go to Australia have to pay for their rooms at one of a number of selected quarantine facilities. I mean, who's going to go to Australia at the moment? No one's going to go to Australia at this very moment, unless if you live out in Australia, things are perfectly fine. But if you choose to go to Australia at the moment, I think that's one of the worst things to do at this very moment, because it's a 24-hour flight. I don't think you can cope on a 24-hour flight with what's been going on at the moment. But at one of the number of selected quarantine facilities, it's going to be having all their own meals delivered to their rooms throughout a stay of at least 14 days. They're all going to get a test twice for COVID during that period, and if they do test positive, their quarantine is extended for a further 14 days, and we all know that anyway. But meanwhile, passengers arriving into London's Heathrow Airport this very week, they're all going to have a complaint of queues, a passport control, and what they describe as a poor social distancing after latest travel restrictions have been requiring travellers to show proof at their negative COVID tests, which also came into force this very week. But on Friday just gone, which was yesterday, former British ambassador, that's Peter Wastacott, he posted a picture on Twitter of long queues at the airport. But the government spokesman has said people should not be travelling unless absolutely necessary. The statement also added that you must have proof of a negative test and a complimentary passenger locator from before boarding, really. But Border Force have been ramping up enforcement, and those not complying could be fined £500. But it's ultimately up to individual airports to ensure social distancing is on site. With all those parts of the UK under strict virus rules, amid high levels of infections, only essential foreign travel is permitted in the current advice from the Foreign Office, because the Foreign Office did actually say that the other day, because I remember a further 40,261 cases and 1,401 deaths today within 28 days of a positive COVID test has been reported on Friday, just gone, in this very country. Okay, let's leave the COVID stories there for now. We'll park the COVID stories away. We'll put them all to sleep now and bring them back next week sometime. Okay, so sea chanties we're talking now. Yes, sea chanties. We're talking sea chanties because in the space of just a few weeks, Scottish postie Nathan Evans has quit his Royal Mail job. He signed to a Polemy Records after storming TikTok, which is an app I haven't even heard of. TikTok, never even heard of it, but I know all about it because my best mate, he has TikTok, so I know a lot about it. With centuries-old sailor songs known as the sea shanties, is the rendition of the Wellerman sparked a worldwide trend, which was dubbed Shanty Talk, and millions of views as users rushed to create their own. Now, Friday, which just yesterday marked the track's official release and meant that the 26-year-old joined a host of virtual internet sensations who've unwittingly found unexpected music success. But can the captain of Steve Jones TikTok, can he really sail on course for a lasting career? We never really know. But there's a video here. Are we going to listen to the video? No, we're going to listen to the video. Okay, we'll just go. But looking at those before him had feared, the journey can also be a perilous one, full of choppy waters. Now, going virtual on social media, because it was going virtual on social media, it had many people's dreams, and it could actually be especially intoxicating of its unexpected. And it said that Maddie Craven of Birchtree, a digital marketing agency that helps artists maximise their online presence. However, though, many often forgot that the hard part came months later, and when everyone had forgotten what they went virtual for, and they all did attempt to maintain the mantra. And it's also especially difficult to do in this very day's cluster of media landscape, dominated by an internet culture that encourages ever and shortening loyalty as users are combated with the constant stream of new music and content as well, which is what I never actually knew. Bit of news. As I say on this show, you learn something new every single day, apart from Sundays. Now, one star who has managed to make the transition is perhaps the most unlikely Danielle Brooke of Cash Me Outside Frame. Now, she first gained public attention as a 13-year-old for an appearance, and I think it was on a US TV show, Dr. Phil, when her controversial result was to the audience, and of course, Cash Me Outside they also went virtual as well. It also became a hugely popular meme, often as the way to humorously express extreme fertilisation, especially the catchphrases cultural knowledge landed Danielle monetary deals and ultra a multi-million recording deal with All Atlantic Records under the stage name The Head Blarby. Now, it was also built around her controversial image, her music, which reached a wide audience online, and it was also amassing millions of streams on Spotify and YouTube, where she currently had her more than 7 million subscribers, which is what I never knew. But by 2018, which was 3 years ago, she'd scored a Billionaire Music Award, and it was a nomination for Top Female Recap Artist alongside Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Now, part of the success which was driven by her amenability, even though it wasn't directly tied to her music, and he also said that the new media expert Chris Stolke Walker, he said, "We love sharing common culture talk touchstones and moments that became memes, and it was sure the faraway to trigger a certain relationship between music and social media as well." But cultural writer Thomas Hobbs said that while the marketing strategy of playing the Danielle's attitude worked at that time, and he felt the tragic that he'd reached its surging point during that very pandemic. Now, a big part of her success was a label thinking that she'd got an attitude, and we'd all use it anyway, more as an influencer than an artist. But we all worked when we weren't stuck inside. But as 60 NGI, an equally controversially counting social media rapper, had found by his poor album sales, the pandemic also meant that people now want more substance. But people were looking inwards, and they also added that either want colourful escapism or something that speaks about the life this very day. The danger of not, though, having a brand that can last is one of the main dangers to facing the virtual music sensations. Now, take the fortunes, I think it's Alex Mann, otherwise known as Alex from Glastonbury, after a video of him being picked out by the crowd to perform a song, actually with the rapper Dave at Glastonbury in 2019. That went virtual as well. But long term also kick-started a trend, global interest in a specific genre, which was also meant that he's kept everything about the music and the real defending factor. It also meant that even if you don't know his name, though, you'll also recognise the track which most internet music sensations hadn't actually done successfully after going virtual, as they released a brand and a new original song. And his first official release stayed on brand, and he found his success performing a cover when he tried to release music. It wasn't successful, and it was the reason Alex from Glasgow went virtual, and that couldn't actually really be repeated, to be honest with you. But the alibi, the ability was to perform the song under pressure without warning, just age 16. 16, yes, just age 16, made him a flashpoint of online interest.